Okay, welcome back everybody to the finals of the Gaithersburg Midseason Showdown. We are finally here. I say finally, but it's been a really quick
Yeah,
tournament.
we've been zooming right through. Started at 11, made it through 4 rounds of Swiss, all of top 4. It's like 3:15. This is gonna probably last like 8 minutes.
Yeah, this is judging by the games we've seen so far. We could be in for quite a fast game, considering both the very hyper-offensive natures of both of these teams. But we've seen both of these players on stream before. We got Xerneas Lunala going up against Groudon Eviltal, and both players just locking in almost instantly. I know Owen
We stalled
had
a little bit.
Yeah, well, Adam definitely took a bit more time there, and but Owen seemed to know his game plan going into this game.
I always like this matchup because the Lunala on the Zernala threatens the Oko against the Groudon, but the Eviltal threatens the Oko against the Lunala, but the Xerneas threatens the Xerneas threatens the Eviltal, and the Groudon threatens the Xerneas. So like all the Pokemon, the Restricteds have a very interesting dynamic where one of them is weak to the other but threatens the alternative Restricted. So we get to see that happen. However, Adam does get to go with his trusty Chlorophyll Venusaur lead with his Groudon, threatens Sleep Powders against whatever he wants, as Owen decided to lead his Follow Me Lucario and his Lunala.
Yeah, so we're going to see the Groudon Venusaur lead here coming out from Adam, a lead that this team really loves to go for, and this is the first time we were actually seeing the Mega Lucario, well, presumed Mega Lucario coming out from Owen's side here. Of course, Lunala, a trusty lead for this team as well. See, the thing is, Owen's team does not really have many answers to Sleep Powder other than it missing, so we'll have to see. Adam got really fortunate with all of his Sleep Powders in the previous match, not missing a single one, so hopefully that luck carries over for him here. And Groudon, well, it does have to worry about that Lunala Z move here, but probably won't have to deal with that if Lunala gets put to sleep.
Well, the Follow Me for the Lucario is fun against the Venusaur because it doesn't take any damage from Sludge Bomb, it takes minimal damage from Grass Knot, and can only really be threatened by the Sleep Powder. Sleep Powder does come in and connects against the Lucario, Groudon threatening an Oko against the Lucario with almost anything it presses, whereas the Lunala has a turn to do something right now, choosing to set up the Tailwind so he can retain the speed advantage against the Venusaur, even next to the Groudon.
Yeah, potentially just not going for that Z move turn 1 just to potentially predict the Groudon to go for Protect, but goes for a Earth Power into the Lucario Follow Me, and that is going to be it for the Mega Evolution on Owen's side, but he does now have Tailwind up.
I think Owen expected that to be how the turn went, and honestly is probably happier that the Groudon went for Earth Power instead of Eruption, which it reasonably could have. And I think he's comfortable sacking the Lucario in that position to set up the Tailwind to put the Xerneas next to Lunala, maybe go for a Gleam of sorts to break the Venusaur's Sash and to lower the Eruption damage from the Groudon, take the knockout against the Venusaur, the Lunala, and then maybe try to set up a Geomancy Psych Up situation. I think he knew that this is how the turn was going to go.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get those two Restricteds in next to each other, but just going straight for the
a
Geomancy.
That was a big boy play.
A very interesting decision there, considering that he does have to contest with Groudon being able to fire off Eruptions and Venusaur with, more important, we have Sleep Powders and Venusaur to contest with, but, miss is always a possibility, so, that's always a thing you have to keep in mind here.
I did just think that he would try to break the Sash and go through the Venusaur. Maybe he knows something we don't about the Venusaur's item. It could potentially be the Gracium Z as opposed to the Focus Sash.
Yeah.
I don't know if we ever got explicit confirmation of that in the previous games. I don't think it went down to its Sash. But he's instead chooses to take this knockout on the Groudon, reduce the Venusaur speed permanently throughout the game, but in exchange risk the Sleep Powder.
Yeah, but just going for the Z move here into that Groudon. This will more than likely be a clean knockout here, but now with Venusaur still...
It's not
a knockout. Wow, the Groudon actually manages to survive,
So
and
now
Venusaur
the Sleep Powder just happens anyway.
Yeah, the Sleep Powder connects here onto the Xerneas, and now that Geomancy Xerneas is going to be taking a few turns to snooze.
Earth Power coming out, breaking the Shadow Shield on the Lunala. Doesn't have to risk a knockout from another Grass Knot into Earth Power. Not really going to be doing that much damage, and I think we saw the HP Ice on Adam's side of the screen. Owen does have to play sleep turn games. I do think the decision not to take the knockout on the Venusaur is pretty interesting. He could have had the opportunity to keep his Pokemon awake, get the chip on the Groudon, and then force a knockout after the Dazzling Gleam chip had he attacked it previously. But the Moongeist going in, taking the knockout on the Groudon, or instead deciding to 2 KO the Venusaur. Sludge Bomb, an interesting decision. Not going to do too much to the Xerneas with its level of boosts.
Not able to get the poison either because it's asleep.
Yeah.
Just choosing to double to Xerneas. That is a
That's
critical
a
hit.
critical hit. So
What is up with these Xerneas getting critical hit today?
I'm not sure, but I think that's Ultra's way of saying you've had your time
You've
to
had
shine.
your time,
We are
Xerneas.
done with you.
Yeah, we're done with this geomancy nonsense.
We don't
It's always
need
the
this anymore.
boosted Xerneas too.
Well,
Always the boosted Xerneas is getting crit.
Owen is not out just yet. The Tailwind is still really important for Owen. And the Scarf Lunala does get to put out a lot of pressure against the remainder of his team.
Yeah, the good thing about this position is that, Owen has chipped down Adam's team to the point where he doesn't have to lock into Psychic in order to get the big damage off.
He
or
could
to
lock
get
into
those KOs.
Gleam of Swords.
Yeah,
Protect coming from the Venusaur probably to stall out the last turn of Tailwind.
Yeah, the problem with locking into Dazzling Gleam is that you're not going to be doing enough damage to the Yveltal. And Moonblast doesn't even get the KO
You
on
could see a
Yveltal.
Magic Room here.
That is also a potential. Yveltal likely slower than this Tapu Lele because I think a lot of these teams like to focus on bulk on their Yveltals rather than just raw speed.
Owen is counting on the Venusaur finally missing a sleep powder. I think he's 5 for 5 on stream so far.
Imagine being
Owen
imagine.
hoping to be the odd one out, the 6 on the dice, dodging the sleep powder and having a chance to come back into this game with Moonblast and Moongeist.
Yep. So
Not out yet, but
definitely not looking too good either.
especially
and
with the
another
sleep
sleep
powder.
powder.
So Adam never fears pressing the button, gets the sleep powder against the Lunala. Moonblast knocking out the Groudon. Lunala taking a sleep turn this turn. It's not completely over. There's still another chance to miss the sleep powder. Sludge Bomb should not knock out Tapu Lele, and Moonblast could do enough damage to the Yveltal with a critical hit. So
Yeah.
Owen still has the outs to play towards. It's just looking quite grim.
Yeah, I think Moonblast crit at this point is
The Moonblast crit into sleep powder miss into Moonblast crit.
yeah because Yveltal will likely try to go for a protect here to just try to mitigate that possibility. But yeah, you definitely need at least one sleep
I don't know
powder
if I
miss.
agree with that because that gives Owens the opportunity to knock out the Venusaur with his Lunala.
Yeah, if it decides to wake up.
So
here.
no Sucker Punch coming out, no Sleep Powder coming out. Oh wait, it's just faster because the Groudon is dead.
Yes. Yeah, because there's no sun anymore. So Lunala takes another sleep turn, and that likely means that Yveltal's foul play going into the Lunala, and yep, that is going to be a KO. Wait, did Venusaur? Oh yeah, Venusaur's the last one to move. Yeah. So is he gonna go for? Yep, just gonna go for the Sludge Bomb here, and that will likely be enough to KO the top. No, not quite.
But with the double target coming out from the Yveltal and the Venusaur, this game 1 is over.
Yep, game 1 likely going to be going to, well, definitely probably going to go to Adam.
Definitely, probably, indeed, Eric.
Yes.
We will see what adjustments Owen or Adam choose to make going into game 2. I think Owen's primary adjustment is just removing the 4-leaf clover from Adam's side of the field, and hopefully on his side not getting crit with his Xerneas, not taking a Sleep Powder Connect every single time, really choosing to just get better luck.
Yeah,
To
Venusaur.
get good.
Yeah, pretty much just getting the better luck is always a good game plan to have. But Adam has the superpower of being able to hit all of his sleep powders.
We're 6 for 6. Let's see if we can get to 10 by the end of the set.
Yeah, honestly, like all the sleep powders hitting, that would be a spectacle in my book. But yeah, going into this game 2. I don't know, Venusaur just in general seems like a problem for Owen's team to
Venusaur's a
deal
really
with.
annoying Pokemon, especially in
Yeah.
the mirror, because you want the Groudon on... okay, well, there's no Groudon on Owen's side of the field, but the Groudon, if there is a Groudon on that side of the field, as well as you have 2 Groudons to give you the speed boost to be very frustrating against. Owen just really only has to deal with the Groudon Venu lead, which simplifies things, and he's not going for damage by a Groudon of his own. I think the one turn from that last game I would reconsider is the one where he chose to take the knockout on the Groudon as opposed to doubling up into the Venusaur and chipping the Groudon.
Yeah.
saving the Z move and then having a +2 Xerneas.
I noticed that both these players just locked in their Pokemon
They don't
super
care.
fast.
They know what they're
I
doing.
I blinked and we're already into game 2
Well,
here.
we have a Smeargle, so that's the king of adjustments, coming in hot before Moody gets nerfed, wanting its final evasion boost of its lifetime.
Yeah, with that Moody nerf. But we're going to see Groudon Venusaur as the lead here from Adam.
Owen choosing to lead Fake Out as opposed to Follow Me. Well, he chose to lead Fake Out and Follow Me as opposed to just one Follow Me.
Yeah. I mean, this is still, like, a pretty, like, not optimal lead here for, well, I mean, Owen, you know, you can get your Geomancy up here, but if Smeargle is carrying something like Fake Out, for example, and you can fake out the Venusaur, prevent something Sleep Powder, but then you also, that means you have to take an attack from this Groudon, and Full Power Eruption, even with the Geomancy boost, is still going to be doing way more than over half of Xerneas' health, but we're just going to see the Fake Out here going into the
Break
Venusaur.
from the Venusaur's Focus Sash, that's really helpful. The play, well, sometimes you just have to choose what's the least bad outcome.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes eating the Eruption at +2 is the least bad outcome.
Yeah. And at this point, like, Xerneas, even at +2, it's not going to be doing a ton of damage to both these Pokemon, but, you know, getting that residual chip damage and putting things in. Well, the thing is, like, with Xerneas is that I feel like you want to keep Xerneas around, right? Because Xerneas is really your only way of dealing with Yveltal. If you're, well, you have Tapu Lele, but Tapu Lele...
I really didn't do that much to Zern.
Yeah, I mean, Zern took that relatively well. But here we go.
Let's see what Moody be doing.
Moody gets the
special defense at 1 HP, not the most helpful.
Accuracy
drop in that.
Kind of unfortunate, but
I don't love that. If
don't really think Smeargle is going to be doing a whole lot. Yeah.
The concern if you're Owen is just getting the Lunala on the field, I think, to be able to really try to get the knockouts on the Venusaur and the Groudon. You might potentially go for a Follow Me Dazzling Gleam to put the Venusaur in range for another Dazzling Gleam, and then you can psych up with Lunala. I think we really need to see a psych up from Lunala to have a chance. So we see the Follow Me from the Smeargle. We'll see Venusaur. Oh, we're just going to see the Xerneas Moonblast. Going to go into the Groudon here. So Groudon going to be taking a ton of damage. KO, but
Sludge Bomb going to be able to knock out the Smeargle here. And Groudon will likely not be going for Eruption this turn. Probably just going to go for an Earth Power. A special defense drop would be nice.
If you're Adam.
Yeah, if you're Adam, but... Oh, it's okay. I see it. Whenever I see the HP going down at least a little bit, I'm just like, oh no.
I didn't get crit again.
Yeah, but Xerneas escaping a crit there.
See, the reason I would have considered going for a... Okay, well, the Incineroar is interesting, but one of the reasons that I've considered going for a Dazzling Gleam there is to be able to get the Lunala in now, and then have Venusaur and Moonblast range, and then you can psych up the Lunala, and then have two Pokemon faster.
Yeah.
So I do... But if you only get the Moonblast and the Groudon, I think you would have done enough damage to avoid taking a knockout from the Eruption, and then you can just do a little bit more.
Yeah, but I think if you're Adam here, you want to... Double Protect, I think, is a very safe play from Adam here, because you don't want Incineroar faking out either of your Pokemon and just Xerneas being able to get a free knockout here, because what Owen has to deal with here is that his Xerneas is likely in KO range of another Sludge Bomb. I mean, you can get rid of Groudon here, but the problem is that...
that Gleam.
Yeah, your Xerneas... Yeah, like, I feel like I agree with that. You probably should... If you're Owen, you probably should have... try to go for Dazzling Gleam last turn and try to put these Pokemon into range for a potential knockout. At least the Venusaur in range, because
Venusaur to get knocked out. Like Gleam and the Moonblast should have knocked it out, and then you'd be able to get the Psych up and then try to potentially win with your Yveltal. I mean, that does make it difficult to have the HP necessary to survive the Yveltal onslaught in the back. So I do understand not wanting to take more damage, but I think he. The thing is, Smeargle Xerneas is not like a strong lead against Groudon Venusaur.
Yeah.
It's not great.
Didn't really solve all of Owen's problems there, but we're going to see Moonblast go into the Groudon. That is going to be a knockout.
To knock it out.
Yeah, but now Venusaur likely going to be able to get a hit off into the Xerneas and Sludge Bomb at this amount of HP.
Think it knocks it out.
Yeah. Well, it actually goes for the Sludge Bomb into the Venusaur.
I really don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that too, because I feel like even if Sludge Bomb didn't knock it out there, that still means your Venusaur is going down there.
You wanted to put the Xerneas in range to get killed by Sucker Punch.
Yeah, so, and now you don't have that option, so now Xerneas is looking pretty good right now, unless he has Metagross in the back. If he has Metagross in the back...
Metagross does change things, honestly.
Yeah,
Metagross really strong.
There it is. Yeah. So,
but the thing is, if it's Yveltal Metagross in the back, he still doesn't really get a knockout on the Incineroar unless he commits a Stomping Tantrum to it. And if he commits a Stomping Tantrum to it, then you do get the Flare Blitz.
I feel like what you could do if you're Adam here is you could protect your Yveltal, right? So you can stop it from getting knocked out by the Xerneas. Because Metagross isn't going to go down to a move from Xerneas, and it's still in Bullet Punch range, so you can Bullet Punch it next turn. So what you can do is you can protect your Yveltal and Stomping Tantrum the Incineroar rather safely. I guess even a switch out into Lunala doesn't help you there.
It doesn't really resolve
I think
that
these
situation.
two from Adam here just kind of win him the game. I think this is all he needs right now.
It seems to be that way. If we see the Stomping into the Incineroar, it should be relatively over, and a protect from the Yveltal.
We're gonna see a protect from
Xerneas. That hasn't made it so the Yveltal hasn't. Yep, Yveltal protects. I love the Yveltal protect. It's really cute. It goes whoosh, and then Stomping into the Incineroar, and that looks like a well-played endgame and a wrap from Adam Warfield.
Well, okay, Owen has one out. He can get a double protect with Xerneas, because what that does...
Yes, that's fair.
Yeah, so that does... Yeah, what that does is that it, Lunala gets the opportunity to knock out Metagross.
So I do think Owen probably had to read into that and not protect with his Xerneas.
Yeah, I still at that point, I don't really know what that does for you.
Well, it lets you protect now.
Yeah, that is true.
So it gives Owen fewer confirmed options. You would still have the you would be able to live with the Lunala.
But
because if he had the protect live now, then he forces the Metagross Yveltal to... The only way the Lunala dies this turn is if it takes Bullet Punch and then a Foul Play. Right?
Yeah.
But now that he knows that the Xerneas can get knocked out, he doesn't have the option to... Or he doesn't have the concern of protecting the Xerneas and then being able to knock out the Metagross and then knocking out the Yveltal the Xerneas the following turn.
Yeah, but Owen instead deciding not to try to go for the double protect. Just let Xerneas go down here. We're going to Z the Z move.
For the last time.
Yeah, for the very last time here.
Maybe.
Well, yeah. Last time for this tournament, at least. This is definitely going into the Metagross. Metagross, not going to be able to take this. This is just...
I think that I cannot get into Owen's head or say or understand like he understands his team and his game plan better than I do. I just do think that the protects in that last turn were he should have gone for the double at least, give himself a little bit of a chance to successfully get that Bullet Punch to not hit him, knock out the Metagross, and then attack this Yveltal after. He didn't give himself any options.
Yeah.
By not going for the double protect, or by blowing the protect the turn prior.
Yep.
That being said, Adam Warfield is our Midseason Showdown champion.
Yep, with that Groudon Yveltal team that has been having a lot of success as of recently. And we just saw Joseph Ugarte win the Portland Regional Championships with a very, very similar team. And now it's cleaning up the local scene as well.
Do you want an interview?
Do we... We could. I mean, I guess we can see if he wants to do a winner's interview. All right, I guess we're going to try to get Adam on for a winner's interview just to sort of give us a run-through of his tournament experience. But with that, we'll be right back while we go set that up for you guys. So we'll see you in a sec.
All right. Hello, everybody. We've just finished streaming the Midseason Showdown in Gaithersburg. Thank you so much, Eric, for having me on board for this tournament. I am here with the champion of the final Ultra Series Midseason Showdown at Gaithersburg that Kyle was hosting. Here with Adam Warfield, who came back from the past to start playing this tournament again. How do you feel right now, Adam?
I feel really good. I missed yesterday's tournament because I was sick. Made a point to make it out, try to salvage some CP and Ultra, and ended up winning. So,
what's in your experience of Ultra so far? Have you been playing what events have you been playing, if any?
So I started Ultra in the spring, right around the EUIC. I started playing online. Went to the DC Open because it was in my backyard.
Right.
So I've gone like one win away from championship points in all my regionals and the DC Open, and I lost all 3 of those games. So
it must feel good to walk away with a win right now.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the team that you were bringing? It's a pretty popular one at the moment. What led you to start using that team?
So I actually played Joseph Ugarte at the DC Open round 1.
Okay.
And we started talking about a Yevildon team right afterwards. I had to give him like all the credit because I was kind of going back and forth over whether or not I thought it was a good core. And then one day after work, he sent me a DM with this team. I started trying it out, and we refined it a little bit since then. Mostly him once again, but it's a very strong team, very bulky Pokemon, able to switch in on a lot of hits and just wear opponents down.
So, tell me about what your thought process was during that final set when you saw the Xerneas and the Lunala, and as I was saying to Eric earlier, that's always a funny matchup because the Xerneas hits the Yveltal hits the Lunala, Groudon hits the Xerneas Lunala hits the Groudon. It's just funny interactions there. What was your thought process going in that matchup?
It's actually one of my least favorite matchups to play. It's very neutral, but the way this team handles Xerneas a lot is to just chip it down and then use Bullet Punch to pick up the KO. And when the Waylay's there, it's hard to say you're going to be able to do that for sure. And so the crit game 1 obviously helped me.
So we're apparently getting stream crashed right now. I really wish that hadn't happened. Alvin, I'd prefer you never do that again for the remainder of your life. So Steven was our alternative top 4 in the Midseason Showdown.
Oh yeah, I just got crit.
He just got bodied as hard as he could.
I got destroyed, yeah. No, our sentence was really close.
He's going to be top 4 as well in the Premier Challenge coming up, but we're talking about Adam right now, not
stuff,
your
Adam. I wanted
selfish
to come back
butt.
second grades.
Get out of here.
Thanks, man.
So you're saying... Yeah, cool. So you were saying that matchup is uncomfortable because of the Tapu Lele stopping the Bullet Punch?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a Tapu Lele. It's that weird interaction like you were talking about where everything just kind of
hit each other, but yeah.
And then the Lucario, if you don't get rid of it quickly, it just starts to do huge damage with close combat too. So just the offensive nature makes me very uncomfortable in that matchup.
So so how did you choose to go about it? Like, what brought you the victory there?
I decided to just go Venudon there. Just hope I hit my sleep powders.
And boy, did you.
I literally did not miss a sleep powder today. It was incredible.
And when that happens, everybody,
that
team is unstoppable.
Yes. You end up in this seat if you don't miss your sleep powders.
Well, congratulations for not missing your sleeps, Adam. It's good to see you come back from a bit of a hiatus and started attending the events again, or having moved into the DMV. We're looking forward to seeing you for Sword and Shield.
Yeah,
so thanks for joining us back here. Congratulations on your win. And I guess we'll be back for one top 4 matches of PC in the finals because this Midseason Showdown was so fast. So we'll be back after that. I don't know how to press these buttons, so thank you, Eric, for doing it for me.
Great interview, guys. Like Rajan said, we'll be back with top 4 of the
One
Premier
of them.
Challenge.
Just
One of the
one.
top 4s, and then finals. So we'll see you guys in a bit.
Cool.